Buck Nelson and sit yourself down right here at the ringside while we go in for a riot of roughhouse that's slangy called wrestling. And here with a fresh platinum rinse and a brand new mark of Gene Stanlee of Rio de Janeiro, known as Mr. America. He's up against a gent who calls himself the Black Panther, alias Jim Mitchell. Gene came to wrestling by way of a male beauty contest, it says here. Mitchell's an old-timer who broke into the racket back in the days when wrestling fans knew the difference between a flying mare and a nightmare. There they go, and may the best ham win. Gone are the grunt and groan goons of yesteryear. Today's the heyday of the pretty boy. At this stage, Gene goes in for the fancy flip-flop and nifty nip-ups, but it isn't time for the Panther even to start panting. What used to be called moan and maul is now growl and grab. And the Panther grabs Mr. America in the first real hold of the match, a headlock, which really sends Gene into a perfect tizzy. He hates to have his Tony tousled. Gene wants to take Jim for a long trip, but the Panther likes to be alone in a corner. Mr. America just can't seem to figure it out. Remember the days when it was against the rules for a wrestler even to look like he could think? Headlock's hard to hold. Maybe the Panther hasn't got much of a head. Don't worry, Jim, your ears are still there. What a time for Gene to say, bless your little pointed head. A few more like that, Panther, and they'll taste like cauliflower. Mighty heady stuff, this wrestling. If your ears burn, that means somebody's talking about you. And brother, his must be sizzling. Comes now a lesson in the first two of wrestling's 3 R's, reeling and writhing. The Black Panther doing both. And that pitch sure has slowed him down. Beg your pardon, Mr. America, but you know it's not polite to turn your back on people. Okay, we had reeling and writhing. Now we come to the 3rd R, razzle-dazzle, starring Mr. A. This is the technique introduced to the game by the great Gus Sonnenberg and Jumpin' Joe Saboldi. The flying block that came to the ring from the football field, getting up steam by bouncing off the ropes and using the Panther as a tackling dummy, and it's first down. A shoulder block, and it's 2nd down. Bouncing off the ropes on one side, then racing to the ropes on the other side, and the Panther's knocked flat as a flounder. He doesn't know what hit him or where it came from. Ha-ha, tut-tut, my good man. Pick yourself up and let's get on with this mayhem. Mr. America will wait for you at the corner. Just as the style of wrestlers has changed in the last few years, so has the brand of comedy in the ring. That head-patting routine and nonchalantly turning the back just weren't in the script a few years ago. But today's fans seem to go for it, even if the Panther wants to use Mr. America for a cushion. A pin cushion. Looks like these two are going around together. There they go again. This is the kind of wrestling Stanlee did on 35 islands of the Pacific in his 3 years of service with Uncle Sam's Navy during the war. Mr. America was known as the strongest man, the pin-up boy of the Navy. Right now, he's practically a pin-down boy, but he slips out from under. Not quite far enough. 1, 2, and he wriggles loose again. Hey, Panther, no fair wig-wagging. That Mr. America sure is a squirmy one, isn't he? He goes over the shoulder like a GI rifle, but the Panther can't make the pin stick. The old hip roll. And fans know that the Panther learned his trade in the old school. No wonder Jim Mitchell won the wrestling championship of Greece and is considered the greatest colored grappler of them all. Hey, brother, those scissors look kind of dull. Sharpen them up a bit, Gene. Oh, he's in trouble now. You know, the same people who like wrestling must listen to soap operas. Always new trials and tribulations. The loudest critics of wrestling complain that it's all an act. Well, I'm not for saying, but if these guys are actors and you call this a pose, haha, ham and legs. Oh, his aching ulcers. Ah, but wait, fans, you got a treat in store. The Panther makes with a head-butting technique, and it really floors Mr. A. He's lifting him by the locks for the brain-busting routine. There's something about hair pulling that makes wrestling rooters rabid. So by this time, the Panther is fairly entrenched as the villain of the piece, guilty of skullduggery. The Panther sure uses his head. But the ref says Gene's down, and now comes the big test of courage. Mr. America giving it the old college try. Battered but unbowed. He struggles back, fighting against heavy odds, but dead game. Or maybe it's gamey. The Panther grabs Goldilocks and slams him to the mat. Pan, mustn't pull on the permanent. Now he tells him. Everybody hates an arguer so, and Stanley's a punch why it serves the Panther right, and so does that. There's something the Panther can lick in the ring, and he does it, and then rubs his head just for luck. I can't go all the way with the critics who claim wrestling's all an act. Getting belted around like this, risking your profile against the floor, isn't exactly covered in the employment articles of Actors' Equity. Although when it comes to emoting and mugging, the wrestlers don't let anybody upstage him. Like the fair-haired boy there, for instance. Here's a breather. But scenario or no scenario, brother, they've really earned it. And any dough they can get, too. All right, boys, get in there and mix it. The paying customers want action, and they're getting it. An arm lock on the Panther. He misses with an elbow and changes his tactics. He's going for what used to be called the nap of the neck, hoping to catch Gene napping. Over goes Mr. America, but he hangs onto that arm tighter than a Yale lock. They're both in the right position to give out with Sonny Boy. Well, creepers. What gives? London Bridge? The winner! The Diaper Derby. The guy's practically out. Not a hold on him anywhere. He doesn't know what happened. And the answer is nothing. So much for comedy relief. Now back to the drama with a leg lock. The Panther ought to beg him to let loose that leg lock. Sort of leg locks and bagels. Only one guy ever got out of a spot like this, and it was Houdini who done it. The Panther figures he's got a kick coming. Now Mr. America lets loose with a chiller to the chin, or a chin chiller, which is going pretty fur. Rubbing the Panther's nose, and Mr. America puts his soul into it. Slam coming up. The Black Panther going down. There goes another, but the Panther takes it on the rebound, and Stanley's got rosin on his back, but he moves in fast. Somersaults the Panther onto his shoulders and upends him for the count in the wrestling match of the century. A guy who won fame by winning a male beauty contest brings sex appeal to the wrestling ring, his press agent says. Hey, look, guys and goyles, I won. Pretty boy, eh? Pretty hammy, too. Man, oh man, wrestling sure has changed. From grunts, groans, and goons to glamour.